Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about more of dental mission trips. What are dental mission trips? What do I do in dental mission trips? Are they worth going to? And I'll be discussing more of my personal experiences and what I gained from it, what were the steps that I got. So I went to a couple dental mission trips while in dental school. I went to one in Ensenada, Mexico. I went to one in San Pedro Sula, and then I went to Ocho Rios, Jamaica. All three of them were very distinct, very different experiences. I personally would 100% recommend going to dental mission trips. I gained so much from them. So the first dental mission trip I ever went to was Ocho Rios, Jamaica. I'm actually wearing their shirt. It's actually a big organization called Great Shape. They don't only do dental mission trips, they also do medical mission trips, other things that are needed in Jamaica. As many of you know, Jamaica is a much needed country that needs help from other places. And so I went through Great Shapes, but specifically through a dental fraternity that I was in dental school. So we actually had to pay to go, which is one of the downfalls of dental mission trips. Sometimes they can be very costly because you have to pay for your flight and you have to pay for your stay. Luckily with Great Shape, our stay was like $800, and we stayed there for 10 days for $800 in a Sandals resort. I mean, it cannot get any better than that. We actually stayed at a Sandals resort for 10 days while we were working there. And it wasn't like we were working all 10 days. We had a couple days off where we can go out and venture. So it was an amazing experience going to Ocho Rios. The one thing I would say from Ocho Rios was that it was just a different culture. I never had experienced that. So the second trip that I went to was Ensenada, Mexico. We got in a van, drove through the border and got to Ensenada. And then the dental trip was more for, it was led by a Christian church in Mexico. And it was an amazing experience. Our stay in Ensenada in Mexico was not as lavish as Ocho Rios, but it was still definitely an experience, and we got to meet a lot of people and understand more of the culture. And the third one that I went to, and I went actually twice because I loved it so much, was San Pedro Sula. It's also ran by a Christian group, and they host a lot of dental missionaries from all over the country. And we were one of those groups from UCSF that went, and it was just an amazing experience to be there as well. So even though there's a little bit of a con, there is the time that you have to use to go there, be there and do the work. You're doing the free work, obviously. And then the money you spend to be there. So your flight and whatever else that needs to be for the trip, you're spending money. Also, if you're one of the organizers, obviously you need to spend even more time and money and other resources to be able to get this too. So why would I recommend you to go and be part of a dental missionary trip? Well, before I even get started with why dental missionary trips, if you're not even dental related, you're thinking of healthcare, maybe you want to go into healthcare, you don't know what, I think some sort of medical missionary trip, dental missionary, or duo would be a really good eye-opening experience for you. So specifically why I did dental missionary trips, I wanted to experience doing dental work in other countries where dental work is more of an elective treatment. People can't afford to go to the dentist. And I just wanted to give whatever I had, whatever skills I had honed, give it away to somebody else in need. So obviously from a dental missionary trip, you gain the experience. I was able to do aesthetic restoration on kids that wouldn't be able to get it done anywhere else. It was too expensive for them. I was able to do restorations. I was able to do extractions. I was able to get people out of pain, and it just was so satisfying seeing how grateful they were about getting this work done not being charged to their family, because if you think about it, this money is saved for them. They could be using this money that they would have otherwise spent going to the dentist, getting a tooth extraction. They could spend it on groceries or whatever needs their family has. So they saved so much money by letting us provide that service to them. And I know they're grateful, but in return it makes me feel so happy, and I just appreciate doing that sort of work because of that. Through the dental missionary trips, I was able to see all the diversity in culture, religion, just the way countries are. I was able to just experience them firsthand, get to speak to the people there, get to speak to everybody around, and just get to know the culture so much better. And that's how I was able to do that through my dental missionary trips. I gained the experience doing work, also I gained the experience and confidence in doing my work. I was able to do really beautiful restorations on a young lady, actually. You can see that it bothered her to have those stains on her front teeth, kind of stained, decayed, probably from fluorosis. It bothered her to have those stains on her front teeth. She would talk and lower her eyes, and to me, if I could do something for her, I wanted to help her with that. So I ended up doing some fills on her front teeth, and after I showed her the work, and she was just so happy. She gave me the biggest smile I've ever seen thus far. She was so pleased with the restoration, and her mom was so happy too. She was saying that it did bother her, even though the child didn't say this. I knew it, she did, and mother just confirmed it, and it just made me feel so proud of what I was doing for this child. I actually, through my dental missionary trips, was able to see that I wanted to specialize. I originally went to dental school. I just said, enough schooling for me, just gonna be a general dentist, and just that's it, like I'm cool with it. And going to these missionary trips, I just realized how much the need was for kids and dental health. And I just felt so satisfied working with them. There was 2 of the 3, quite a few of the attendings that went with us weren't comfortable seeing kids, but they would tell me, like, if you're comfortable seeing them, I'm okay with you seeing them. So I ended up I was like only seeing kids for some of the missionary trips. I know for Mexico, all I did was see kids. I did their cleanings, I did fillings, a couple extractions if it was needed, and it was just so satisfying working with kids. And that's really when I realized, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to work with these children. And it was amazing how courageous these kids were to go undergo these treatments, and how grateful their families were. Specifically, I remember one instance in Mexico. This mom waited in line for hours for us to see them, and then once she was at the front, we asked who were we gonna see, and she said, "Oh, don't worry about me, see my children." And we're like, "Well, what do you want with your children?" She was just saying, "Oh, they've been having pain in their front teeth, and it's really causing them pain. They're not able to eat well." And she's just explaining everything, and she just kind of melted down and just sad. And she was like, "You know, I've been to multiple places. They don't want to see them because they're so young. I don't know where else to go. I feel like I'm stuck at a corner." And so I looked at those teeth, and surely enough, they were so decayed down to the gum line that they needed extractions. And we were able to provide that for them. And the parents were so relieved. They were so happy. The child did amazing, and they just knew it had to be done, and these children just were so strong and were able to keep through it. And I was just surprised how amazing this experience was for me specifically, not because I was doing the dental work, but just the emotional surprise that I was getting. It was just so much. I was bombarded with so much happiness, so much emotion during these trips, and I would 100% do it all over again. Also, going to these missionary dental trips kind of reminded me how much need there is in the world. Like, you know, you get through a funk and you're like, "Oh, pour me this, pour me this." And then you go to these places and you're like, it just puts your mind into perspective. Like, I'm talking about, "Oh, I need a pair of shoes," or like, "Oh, I want an extra this," or "I need these heels in this color." And these people are just surviving on the most basic needs. They're not even being met. And going to these trips just humble me. Every single time I go, it's just a humbling experience, a reflective experience in which I look at this in their environment and I'm like, these people are happy with the little that I have. I need to be happy with whatever I'm given. And it's just such a good experience. It's an awakening experience, humbling experience. And if you've never been to impoverished countries, I would recommend 100% to go, just so it helps you put things into perspective. And you could be happy on so little, and yet we're not happy when we have so much. And it just helps you reflect and just kind of understand what the real true meaning of happiness is in life. I've built so many relationships through this experience. I actually have a few friends that I still communicate from Honduras. So I still have a couple friends in Honduras. I made friends with the dentists in Honduras. It was amazing how welcoming they were. And we still keep in contact. And one of them actually came to my wedding. So I've made so much lasting friendships, and I just built a dental community internationally. I talk to them about procedures that they do, procedures that they don't do, what materials they use, and we just have that international community, and it's just so nice to have that. It's so nice to see how other people work as well. I would say like the main thing about missionary trips, dental missionary trips, you receive more than what you get. And this is why, like, yeah, you're giving them whatever you have, your abilities, like, oh, I do a filling here. I did that, but I received so much more. It changes my life being with them, and I think that's the most important thing that you need to do in these missionary trips. Really reflect and get to know these people and get to know their background stories, because you'll learn so much from them. Now, I know some of you can't go overseas or are unable to at the time, or can't afford it, and I'm not saying like go broke trying to make a change in the world. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying is if you have the opportunity and you're able to go, do it. If you're not, you don't understand. There is so much need in this country. There is so much poverty in this country. You can go anywhere in this country and find the need that you can find in other, maybe not as severe as third world countries, but there's still a need. So go to these communities, help them out. You don't need to go far in order to find the need. The need is in this country as well, and in the country wherever you reside. It's all in the same country. Anyways, that is my 2 cents about dental missionary trips. If you didn't get anything at all, I would say go on a dental missionary trip. It is well worth it. If you're a pre-dent or you haven't decided what you want to do, I would say if you have the means, if you have the ways, take a medical missionary trip, a dental missionary trip, or something that's combined, and just so you can experience that. It's just really bizarre. I really can't explain the feelings that I felt while I was there. I think you just have to be there to really understand it. Anyways, any comments, put them down below. If you had a really fun missionary trip, or you would recommend one for me or for somebody else, please put it down below. I would love to know about it. Anyways, thank you. Subscribe, like, comment. Bye.